Superintendent Ed Fletcher with Monmouth-Roseville School District. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good. It was good to see you yesterday.
Yes, that was a very good event. It's so obvious to see that food insecurity in our community is still prevalent, and the Smithfield stepping up, and Jameson Center always steps up, and the other entity that was there providing the food for the vouchers for the families. It was a great event to see and watch.
Yeah, Feed the Children is the name of the nonprofit organization. Smithfield Foods with the $100,000 donation, of course, for our community and two other communities, one in Nebraska, one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and, of course, right here in Monmouth, Illinois, one of our largest employers. So we thank them for what they did. We'll get a chance to catch up with Nancy a little bit later this morning.
Yeah, I mean, Smithfield always, they're so prevalent in our community and always doing good things, so it's nice to see that take place.
All right, you had your superintendent meeting, or I should say your Board of Education meeting last night. How did things go?
It was a good meeting. It was a fairly short meeting. The gist of it was talking to the board about the projects that we have and getting done right near the end stretch of the school year, and then and we have passed a tentative budget. The approval for the budget will be in September, but on the facility side of things, we have some it's the high school and junior high where we have some projects that are coming down to the wire. To junior high, we have some science rooms, labs that were being updated, so we're fairly confident that by Friday those rooms will be finished, washed, waxed, cleaned, and all of the stuff that goes along with it. At the high school, we're having the bathroom remodel project, which is, to be honest, taking a lot longer than I anticipated. But that's just how it goes. But we are looking at hopefully by Monday evening, all the restrooms will be functional. We have the third floor right now is functional. Second floor is almost completed, and it's the first floor that's kind of dragging a little bit. But the contractor says that they're sending people out over the weekend. They're working as hard as they can during the day to make it a reality. So we're excited to have the projects be done, the projects, but it's stressful trying to get making sure that we can get kids in, and we'll be able to get kids in. There's not going to be any delay of school or anything like that. But it's been a lot of pressure put on to the contractor saying, "Hey, you gotta move this along," and which is, I wish we didn't have to do that, So, but on and Mr. Greenleaf does a lot of that himself, and I just get involved when I feel like I need to say, look, this is not exactly what we had planned for. So, but that's the gist of it. That was hopefully those projects will be done right down to the wire. We talked to the board about the budget last night. We'll have a balanced budget. As we all know, expenses keep on going through the roof, especially for us in our operations and maintenance fund, trying to get projects done. And just to, just keeping up with projects now that we're at a good spot where we spent a lot of time, doing projects since I've been here, and we're just at that stage now where I think we're finally caught up. Okay. Transportation, as I talked to the board, that's a real, that fund is, the expenses in that fund have ballooned, specifically related to the cost of bus leases. Ours have gone up in the last 3 years, 40%. And so, we're looking at getting buses. We need 3 buses next year as part of the lease. And when we leased them 3 years ago, they were $14,500 a year to lease them. Now they're $21,200 a year.
Why?
So,
do you have any idea why?
For a while, it was a supply chain issue. And I'm certain that costs have gone up. I just think, in this case, these manufacturers know that there's only a few of those people in the game, and they can raise the cost. I know inflation's inflation, but I also know that companies are making record profits. So I think there's a little bit of hey, we're going to take advantage of the situation while we can, and unfortunately for us, we have no choice. We have to lease these buses. We have to pay the price. So those are the two funds that are, I told the board that's going to be a little bit it's worrisome that those costs have gone up so significantly over the last few years. So, but they're required costs.
Sure.
So there's really nothing we can do about it. I did talk to the board. It was interesting. The State Board of Education asked us to, they didn't ask, but we have to participate in NAEP testing, which is a National Assessment of Educational Progress testing. And you'll see these results come out every so often, usually with these dire headlines that, we're falling behind the rest of the world in education and so on and so forth. And so a few years ago, I saw some news reports about it, and I contacted the state board, and I said, well, when was the last time Monmouth-Roseville's ever given this test? Or when have we been, it was like 2014. I said, so us as school districts who work very hard with our kids, we have our kids take these tests, and then all of a sudden you're saying that the whole world's coming to an end when the performance isn't where you think it needs to be. I said, I don't like that narrative. I don't like the fact that we don't get any prep for the test. We don't even know what the questions are going to look like. It's just like, well, here's a test. We're going to have you take it. Hopefully you do well. And if you don't do well, we're going to create this narrative that kids are super underperforming compared to other schools across the world. And I don't like how that is portrayed. It just seems biased against schools. Because I work in schools every day. I know how hard our teachers work, and I'd love to give someone a test, never give them the questions, and say, take it. And if you don't do well, we're gonna just, the narrative's gonna be our kids aren't prepared. And I don't really, when we start talking about standardized testing and we start talking about that stuff, while I understand the need for it, the doomsday reports that come out of those types of testing is not a narrative that I'm really happy about. And I've dealt with it for 29 years, but it just seems so unfair to the hard work that all the teachers put in that there's this false narrative around these scores, and all of a sudden kids aren't ever going to be successful if they don't do well on the standardized tests. And we all know that that's not true.
Well, with narratives, the news media, it's all about clicks, and it should be about facts.
Yes, and that's unfortunate, because then in our world, we take every, especially in public education, we take every kid who comes our way, and we don't have an option. We don't get to say, well, we're not going to take student A, but we'll take student B. And so when you have to educate all of them, we really only get them for 6.5, 7 hours a day. The rest of the time, there's a lot of other influences that are playing an impact on the kids in their lives. And, the narrative around standardized testing, I hope in the remainder of my career changes. That we give them, we understand why we have to give them. It helps with curriculum. It does help us to look at data. But this false narrative that kids aren't going to be successful, if they don't do well on these tests, is wrong. I can show you. I have data, years of data to show you that test is, while not important, it's not as meaningful as some people might make it out to be. So, all right, I'm off my soapbox.
No, that's okay, because there are students who just don't test well.
Yeah, and there are kids who can...
And they put pressure on themselves.
They can take apart an engine blindfolded and, maybe not able to do trigonometry, but can do all kinds of stuff with a welding torch, with tools, fix an engine, working in the agriculture field, and those types of things. And it doesn't, that test isn't always the end all be all.
Sure.
So the other stuff we have, well, just a couple of upcoming dates.
Yes, it's happening, folks.
Ready or not, here
United's in this week, but MR starts next week.
Here they come. We have our new teacher orientation tomorrow. We'll be meeting with our new teachers and speaking to them about the school year, things that they need. We have our opening day institutes for our staff are our Monday, August 19th and the 20th. And the first day for students K through 9 is Wednesday, August 21st. And then the first day for 10th and 11th and 12th graders will be Thursday, August 22nd.
Okay.
So
Backpack nights are coming up.
backpack nights, yes, the junior high are all on Tuesday the 20th. Now the junior high starts us off from 4:30 to 6. Lincoln then is from 5 to 6:30. Harding is 5:15 to 6:45. Central is 5:30 to 7 p.m. and the high school is 5:45 to 7:15. So kids can come visit their schools, get used to the layout of the schools. Our custodians have worked extremely hard. I mean, the last 2 summers have been very difficult for them, and just with the construction that's going on, and we're moving them from school to school and having them do things out of sight of their building, and they do it without complaint. So we're very appreciative of them.
Okay, good luck on the school year. It's exciting. I'm going to see you September 6th and your Monmouth-Roseville FFA officers, along with United FFA officers. We're going to see your Monmouth-Roseville Madrigals perform the national anthem. It's all coming during the Warren County Prime Beef Festival. We've got the parade, but the Big Ag Breakfast on that Friday morning.
It's a really exciting time, and this is year 29 for me, and I still get the butterflies. So it's really cool. We're super excited, and we're ready for our kids.
Let's do it. Okay, thank you so much, Ed.
Thank you.
Ed Fletcher, Superintendent, Monmouth-Roseville School.